Good morning, Utica. I'm Carrie Palaio, the Executive Director of the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce and your host for the Leveling Up podcast. As always, we'll start off talking about a few of the things that we have going on here at the Chamber, and then I will introduce today's guest. Coming up next week, we have a really fun business after hours. If you are getting your garden ready and getting ready for spring here in upstate New York, the Central New York Conservancy Center will be hosting us on Wednesday for our next business after hours. They're going to have some great giveaways to get your garden ready, and they're also going to be announcing some exciting changes over there. So you're going to want to make sure to take part in that. So make sure you get that on your calendar. Then, keeping with this theme, our Catalyst Young Professionals group will be actually taking part in Keep Mohawk Valley Beautiful, and will be teaming up with Bag Square Brewery to do a cleanup day in the Bag Square area on Saturday, June 3rd. Our Young Professionals group is open to chamber members 40 and under. They're a really engaged group who look to do really good things for the city of Utica. They network together, they volunteer together, they plan fun special events. Speaking of which, one of the meetups that they will be attending, which is open to all of the public, is our Meet the Mayoral Candidates reception. So we've had the same mayor for the past 12 years. This year we will be electing a new mayor, and June 27th is primary day. So it's very important for all of our citizens to go out and vote, and we are hosting a reception for you to get to know the candidates. It'll be just like a business after hours. There'll be food and drinks and live music. It'll be hosted at the Nexus Center, and you can get some behind-the-scenes tours. So if you haven't been to the Nexus Center yet, it's a really great excuse to get down there. Or if you just want to talk to the candidates one-on-one about the issues that matter to you most, this is a great way to do it. So there's not going to be any speeches. There's not going to be a debate at this event. It's really for you to personally get to know each of the candidates, so you can choose in the primary the candidate that you align with the most. So our young professional group will be doing a meetup at that, so they can get more involved, but it is open to all of our chamber members and non-chamber members. So this is really, twofold, not only to get to know the mayor, but we really want to push you to get out and exercise your right to vote in the primary. Additionally, one of the things that the Chamber is putting on, through our Small Business Councils, we have put together a Small Business Council panel called The Power of Partnerships, and this series topics is going to be on marketing. It will be on Thursday, June 8th at Thinkubator from 8 to 10 a.m. From 8 to 8:30, we'll have registration and a little bit of light breakfast and networking. From 8:30 to 9:30, there will be a panel, and then from 9:30 to 10, questions and answers. All of the registration information for all of these programs is on our website, greateruticachamber.org. As we're heading into the summer months, we can't think about summer in upstate New York without thinking about golf. I'm very excited to announce that our Choo Choo Golf Tournament is sold out. So if you are a business who is looking to get in front of a new audience, we still have sponsorships available for this coveted tournament. And you know that we have a very captive audience with our riders as we ride. It's a full day, taking the train all the way up to Thundera. We golf all day and we take the train home. So you've got a great captive audience, so we're looking for some additional sponsors for that event. Our What's Upstate initiative is off and running. We have told you about What's Upstate for a few times now. whatsupstateny.com. We just recently launched a job board, and we have a whole bunch of employers who are listing job opportunities there. So if you are a job candidate seeking new employment, or if you're an employer seeking a new place to advertise jobs, we've created this tool for you. What's really unique is it's a full recruitment tool. So not only are your jobs on What's Upstate, but there's everything to do in the upstate area. So if you're trying to attract talent from out of the area, it's a really great place not only to showcase your jobs that you have available within your company, but the great reasons to live, work, and play in the Mohawk Valley. So we really encourage you as a job seeker or as a job employer to check that out, because it's really been really popular, and people are really excited about this new tool. Also on there, if you're not looking for a new job, but you're looking for something new to do this summer, Chamber. We have all sorts of different trails that are listed there, food trails, beverage trails, things to do for a day in the city with kids, all sorts of things. So if you're just looking to explore our area a little bit more, it's a really fun way to check that out. And if you're even interested in getting further involved, we have ambassadors that help welcome new people to our area. So you can get involved in that way as well. So we encourage you to check that out. Before I introduce today's guest, I have to, of course, recognize our sponsors of today's podcast episode, Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, and First Source Federal Credit Union. I kind of ran both of those together, but they're great partners who work well within the area. So thank you to both of them. And of course, our platinum sponsors who support absolutely everything we do at the Chamber. We couldn't do anything without them. AmeriQ, Master Vito Hyundai, Staffworks, NVHS, and the Kelberman Center. So thank you to all of our platinum sponsors. Today I have with me Mr. Brian McKee, who is the CEO of the House of the Good Shepherd. He's also one of our board members at the Chamber, so I'm really excited to welcome him here today for this episode.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so, we kind of planned it on purpose for you to be here in May because May is Foster Care Month, and that's one of the programs that you cover at the House of Good Shepherd. So tell everybody a little bit about the House of the Good Shepherd, and then we'll talk about what you do for different programs and get into foster care.
We were originally essentially a campus-based organization serving maybe 100 kids at any given point in time, and now we serve about 1,700 youth and their families per year. And campus still continues to run, but our largest program and our fastest growing program is our foster care program. We are the first referral for any youth that comes into foster care in Oneida County. And so we have a tremendous partnership. Our leadership have the same values. We work together closely with the county. But the foster parents are the lifeblood of the program. It's the people that open their homes to children that they've never met before, but committed to love and treat as if they were their own.
Yeah, and you have a really great setup and support system for these parents. So you do the training, you have your facility in North Utica where they can come and, parents can do supervised visits. So you have all of the support for people who are looking to be foster parents.
Yes, I also have 15 vehicles to take kids anywhere they need to go or to support birth parents to come in and have visits. We also provide a lot of behavioral health services. A lot of these kids are coming in extremely traumatized. We have dedicated clinicians who specialize in child trauma treatment to give the kids what they need, aside from a normal life, going to school and having the support of a loving adult.
Yeah. So with supporting that many children, you have a big workforce. Tell us about how many employees you have and about what makes working at the House of Good Shepherd a little unique and a little special.
Well, so we have about 380 employees at this point in time. Half of them probably work on the campus. And I think, the challenges that we have right now, we're starting to get applicants. There was a long time, just like anybody else, right? We were having difficulty with our entry-level workforce. But now we're getting people coming in that don't necessarily have the skills and knowledge that the former application workforce had. And so we're focusing a lot on training the first 6 months of experience you have working with kids and working in our system, because it's nothing like any other. It's very difficult to compare to. But once you clear that 6 month to a year threshold and people begin to settle in, I would say our culture is our strongest element. It's a friendly, collegial workplace. I've got a critical mass of probably 150 people that are anywhere between 5 years and 42 years tenured. They're there for the kids, but they're there with like-minded people, right? Who get it, who get the opportunities that we can present these kids and the difficulties that they're coming from. They stay because of their hearts, and they stay because of one another.
Yeah. So tell me, specifically in terms of workforce culture, what is it that makes you unique, and what different programs do you offer and things like that?
So we are a really flexible employer. So we serve children and families. right? So the one thing that we do, when we talk to staff that they sometimes appreciate the most, is that if you have a family need or if there's something going on for you that's outside of work, we want to support you any way we can. We want you to bring your whole person to work and not just the work person, and to be able to be yourself in an environment, but in a place where you get the training, the technical support, all the support you need. We also believe in providing the highest wage that we can afford, and a budget is a reflection of an organization's priorities, and any extra money that we have, we put toward our workforce.
Yeah. So this flexible workforce that you have in hours and putting family first, do you think that attracts the younger generation? Because we find that with them, they're looking for a more flexible workforce. And so are you finding younger applicants, or is this really just across the board that it really works for your employees?
I think we're seeing, so not necessarily a younger demographic. I think we're seeing applicants that, frankly, are more adaptable to that type of home work, remote environment. And some of our jobs are site-based jobs. You know, if you're a school teacher, you got to be in the classroom.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't for a couple of years. But so when we think about the level of remote adaptability from a skill standpoint, they do well. We're also discovering that, especially with people that are new to the workforce, they really rely on each other a lot, right? And so we're trying to figure out, as we've grown, we've outgrown our space on Herkimer Road. And we don't want to lease more space. So we're trying to think about how to hotel some folks so that they can come into the office, get the supervisory support nose to nose, they can talk with their peers, do whatever they need to do, but also be able to work remotely from wherever they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned the Herkimer Road, and I know that you've got some new upcoming stuff that you want to talk about there. So let's talk a little bit about, you just renovated it. We did a ribbon cutting there in a little celebration recently to celebrate all that you've done and made that a beautiful facility for visiting families, for the foster parents to bring the children and for them to meet with their birth parents. A very comfortable, relaxed, homey feeling. But you haven't renovated one spot in there yet. It used to be a school, and you haven't renovated the gym. So I know you've got some plans for that. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have up your sleeve.
So that I came in 2017, and that gym has sat there with the shingles falling off it and needing boiler work and everything for a long time. And we have thought through anything from bulldozing it and making it a parking lot to trying to somehow rehab it as more office space. And what we've landed on is, you know, we've begun to focus on this population of youth that we refer to as transition age youth. These are kids that have gone through the foster care system or have gone through similar circumstances and don't have a meaningful adult in their life when they're graduating from those services and those systems. And so they need belonging to some degree. And so our vision is to create a community center for people who need belonging, where that could be transition age youth, that could be people from the refugee population, could be people that are just interested in a communal experience. But the centerpiece of this is going to be a climbing wall. And so we're looking at doing a major rehabilitation to the space. There's a basement below the gym. And so we're going to open up a portion of the gym floor and actually bring the climbing wall from the basement all the way up. And we've got plans to eventually get this. We're going to use it for our own population and for other populations that want to use it. But our vision is to open it up to more and more people and actually run it as a social enterprise.
Yes.
So we have the opportunity to have self-sustaining revenue, but at the same time we have the people that we serve really supporting the whole project themselves.
Yeah, and that's really cool because it's kind of like an activity desert there in the North Utica area. There's not many destinations there, so it would be a great place for families in that area and people to kind of move into.
We had Mayor Palmieri come in and take a look and hear our vision for it, and he said it's an excellent idea for just that reason.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So you spoke about revenue a little bit. So we know that, based on the services that you offer, that you have governmental support. So speak a little bit about your partnerships with government. And then, as a board member, you actively attend our Government Affairs Council. So we'll talk a little bit about, the policy work and how like the chamber supports policy work.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting since I've joined the chamber and listening to other businesses from other sectors, and we really, while it manifests itself differently, we really face the same type of headwinds when it comes to regulation, right? And where money flows, where you're going to get the money to build your business, to grow your business. I think there's two main areas where our government relations impact us. The first is directly in revenue. So we work for the county, we contract with the counties for our major programs, but the state sets the rates. State sets determines actually what the rules of the road are for any of that, and they set the reimbursement schedule. We have an antiquated rate system that goes back to the 1970s. So while the county is an excellent partner and very supportive from a functional standpoint, it's really up to the central office or the Department of Budget, New York State, on how much we're going to make. And we always go into a budget not knowing what the impact is going to be. You're flying blind. But I think the most interesting part of it, when we were looking at the governor's budget, what made it and what didn't make it, right, is from a policy standpoint, they really just determine the strategic direction of your system, right? And so while, for example, their ideology, right, is that we don't want a lot of kids in institutions, you could talk to law enforcement, medical personnel, our own people, foster parents, about the need for safe places for youth to be, because they can't be safe in the community or in foster homes. They fail up and experience a series of failures. Well, what they really need is stability, right, or skills, or just to address some dysregulation so we can get them going again. So what that means is, while the funds are going in one particular direction, the practical reality is the needs might be elsewhere or just greater than that. And so you have a choice of whether or not to hang on and try and support the business that you believe in, or go the direction that the policy winds are blowing. And it puts us we're a mission-based agency.
Right.
So it puts you in direct conflict.
Yeah. So as a mission-based agency, you see some gaps and you're looking to fill those with a little bit of transitional housing. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yes, so we've got partnerships with key partners that I don't want to get ahead of. So I can't tell you the location, but we're envisioning a 35-unit apartment building that's very close to educational opportunities, that's very close to recreational opportunities and job opportunities, where this population of youth, the 18 to 25, are able to live independently, but don't have the means to save for an automobile. They don't have the means to pay for an apartment, but also go and get education at the same time. So if we can support them with housing that, frankly, they can stay in as long as they desire, that gives them an opportunity that a lot of these youth don't have. And so we're in partnership with a building provider who does this type of work, not necessarily for this population, but others. They've done projects in the area. And so we're just so excited. We're at the point now where we're looking at building design. We've received the reward from the state, so we're good to go. We just have to apply for the funding, and then we're going to start breaking ground.
Yeah. So you've used the word support and partnerships a couple of times. Let's talk a little bit, and we didn't prep you for this, so if I put you on the spot, I'm sorry, about the fun development opportunities that your organization puts on. You've got golf tournaments, you've got a wine auction coming up. So tell us a little bit about what we have to look forward to, ways that the community can come support you.
Well, so we've got our golf tournament coming up in June. It's full. But that has always been a lot of sponsorships. A lot of people come out for that. That's at the Onondagas. We also have a Wine All You Want event in September. Last year we made it a gala. It was a phenomenal event with a tremendous amount of support. So we're looking closely at who is supporting us, how they can support us. We're developing long-term relationships with people. This is a very generous community. We all agree, right? When I talk to my colleagues, and we have people here that just want to support their youth. and want to support the organizations that are supporting them.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that we didn't cover that people should know about the House of Good Shepherd that, is top of mind? I'm going to ask you one more question before you, so if you want to think, I do have another question for you. But so we kind of started off talking about Foster Care Month and the need for foster care parents. I know that you told me coming out of the pandemic, you saw a great need, even more to have foster care parents. So if people are a little curious, what do you look for? And how can they connect with you on that?
Well, that's what I would have added. So that's perfect. So we have tripled our foster care population since 2019. And so what we need are people who are going to take care of one youth, sibling groups, who are committed to them in the long term, but also committed to working with their parents to make the parents successful so that the youth can go back to their original family. Yeah. That falls within our belief system. That's also just, it's what is best for these kids. So we have probably, I would say, a third of the foster parents that we need. We need somebody, you don't have to own your own home. We do background and record checks, as you would, right? If you're going to check out the people who are going to look after your kids. We provide training. We provide all the support you need and all the information you need to be successful. The only thing that we don't provide is the love in night and day that you have to provide for these kids.
Yeah, it's a big ask, but it's an important one, and it's life-changing.
People love it. People absolutely love it. If you go to our website, changingchildrenslives.com, that's how you can tap in, get some more information, get some more resources. But there's some testimonials on there from foster parents that are active right now, and life-changing is the way they describe it. No regrets. We don't have a lot of people that go through the training process, jump in the pool, and by the way, it's never what you think it's going to be, right?
Nothing
jump
is in life,
pool,
right?
Yeah. They go through the initial scramble, they figure it out, and they don't go running from it. They want to stay, and they want to keep going.
Yeah, that's great. I've hosted foreign exchange students, so a little bit different, but
Similar.
But it is similar. Yeah. So, and it's a lot, but it's rewarding.
Yeah.
So, so you've recently joined our board. Tell us a little bit about why you think the House of the Good Shepherd. Why are you a chamber member? What do you think the chamber provides to the community? And what would you tell people about why they should join the chamber?
I think it's information and relationships. So information in that, as I was referring to earlier, we get embedded in our own sectors, whether you're a small business, whether you run a corporation, you're a nonprofit, for-profit, or government, and it allows you to kind of create a perspective that maybe you didn't have. And so I think that helps you build your own business. There are practices that are out there that not-for-profits don't typically use just because it hasn't been in our lane, right? And that's where I would say as far as the relationships, there are a lot of people who are coming out who want to know other people and want the same information that I'm referring to. You make connections with them. Yeah. And you've got people outside your sector that you can rely on. It's a great place to find board members. So yeah, I've been really pleased.
Fantastic, great. Well, we wouldn't wrap up this podcast without talking about leveling up, since this is called the Leveling Up Podcast. I like to ask all of my guests what you have done either personally or professionally to level up yourself and give people a little advice on how they can keep moving along in their lives and making themselves better people for a better community.
I think, for me, I thrive on information. Not necessarily knowledge, but just information, right? And so some people read, some people look at a lot of podcasts, that sort of thing. We travel any opportunity we can. We've empty nested, and so we're able to be somewhat flexible. And my wife and I, our work is our lives, right? And so we believe in what we do. We believe in the people we serve, who are the most vulnerable population in any society. So it's interesting to go to Nashville and enjoy Nashville, and we love music, but at the same time, see where they invest their tax money, see where they support their poor people or not, right? See how it works in different places, and it kind of freshens you up while you're enjoying yourself at the same time. So I'm very appreciative of that, and it's relaxing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I used to work in travel, and travel is the way that we connect each other to the world. So it's fantastic. Great. Great. Well, thanks for joining me here today and letting everybody know a little bit more about what the House of Good Shepherd does, in case they didn't know, in case they only knew you from your wine event or, Changing Children's Lives, which you guys have really great programs all throughout the year for that. So make sure to connect. You want to give a plug again for your website?
ChangingChildren'sLives.com.
All right. So thank you so much. We will be back in 2 weeks. Eve Vanderwall will be joining me from Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield. In between that, we have Memorial Day weekend coming out. So I encourage you to get out and explore and travel, even if it's within our own local area. You can find out more on whatsupstateny.com. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and stay kind, Utica.